Hi everyone, Judy Silva here from Look Up Homeschooling. It has been a while since I have done a video. I have been quite busy and I was a little bit ill. There's something that struck me. I was just watching the video with Hannah Harper and Carrie Underwood singing Hannah's song String Cheese, and how she was telling her story and sharing how God's greatest ministry is in the home. And as a homeschooling moms out there, sometimes we feel like we're an island in the middle of a swirling Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is the one that has all the storms, unpredictable. You know, it's extremely cold up north and extremely hot in the south, and sometimes we feel like this tiny little island that you can't even find on a map, and all alone, invisible. And it's hard. It can be really, really hard. And I know when I was homeschooling, we had lived out on a hobby farm, moved out to the country. We were about a half an hour northeast of the city, and we moved on to 28 acres. And we got to know some people in the community, but our church that we went to was now like half an hour away. And in the wintertime, the highways could be bad. And it became a bit isolating. And especially when things happened, like I had cancer twice and my husband had strokes, and it's just one thing right after another. And there were times when I was homeschooling, I didn't think I wanted to quit. I'm going to be honest. There were so many times I wanted to quit because it was beyond me. It was between the cancer, and I had major surgery in this 2000. It started off 2013, and it just didn't stop till we moved 10 years later. And I mean, my dad died, my father-in-law died. My father-in-law died. He had a heart stroke. Our daughter almost died. So many times I can't even count if she was going to make it to the hospital alive in an ambulance. And this all happened, and our son was young. And then I had to work when my husband was on disability and try to homeschool. And there were so many times I wanted to quit. And it was hard. And homeschooling is not easy. You see these beautiful images of homeschooling, the pretty flowers, country flowers, and these soft, beautiful websites, covers of homeschool planners. I have a cover in my homeschooling planner too. And it looks like it's supposed to be this easy, beautiful, simple thing. And it's not. It's beauty in the mud. Mud is sticky. You get stuck in the mud. And sometimes when your rubber is stuck and you pull your foot out, but your rubber's still left, and you have to get that rubber out of the mud. And you don't think you're ever going to get out of that mud. And you eventually get out of the mud, and then you wash yourself off and you wash your clothes. And sometimes you can look back and you can laugh about it. And we do eventually get out of the mud and we're cleaned up. And then there's beauty in it. And the Lord was there in the mud. He's the one, I feel like, said, "Judy, grab a hold of my hand. I'm going to pull you out of that mud. So what if your rubber boots are left? I'm going to pull you out of the mud." Those times that I felt like quitting, I paused. I had to pause. I mean, I can't really homeschool when I'm lying on my back and recovering from major surgery. I had a little bit of time to prepare some stuff for my son, but he was such a good little guy, and he would bring me water and do things, and my husband was working, and there was still animals to care for. But I would pause and take a break. But it really wasn't a break because I was recovering from, I had one major surgery, and 4 months later I have to have another cancer surgery, and I had colon cancer, and I never thought I was going to get out of the mud. And people pay to put mud on their faces to get their skin clean so they look more beautiful. Oh, I guess I'm just trying to say that realistically, homeschooling is difficult. It can be challenging. If you're new to homeschooling, I don't want to discourage you. I'm just being real with you. But I do look back, and I took a lot of photographs. I would say take a lot of photographs and a lot of videos of your homeschooling journey. If they're doing a presentation, working on a project, whatever that might be, funny things that happen, sports that are playing, I have a lot of photographs and videos. And every year I put together a portfolio, samples of everything that my son had did, along with photographs, and then I have videos, and I still have those binders, and I still have those photographs that I put together at the end of each year. And there's a lot of memories in those. And when I look at those, I see the beauty. I see the hand of Jesus pulling us, not just me, my family, out of the mud. And then we might get another mud coming along. But cherish the beauty and cherish the moments. And when you need to take a break and your kids need a break, take the break. Don't live in fear that you're failing your kids. That is it's got to be the biggest challenge for homeschooling moms, is the fear that we're failing our kids. I lived with that same fear. I really, really did. I eventually learned that, God has a plan for my kids. And God has a plan for your kids. And then I'm like, okay, Lord, what is your plan? Rather than me being consumed with fear that I'm failing my kids, I switched gears because God was really doing a work on me. And I'm like, okay, Lord, what is your homeschooling plan? Because you have something planned for my kids down the road, and I don't know what that is. So what do you want me to focus on? We didn't do pre-cal, and we didn't do trigonometry in math. I have a business math background. I have years of accounting and college education. So I literally created my own high school consumer math course for my son. I took everything that I knew and taught him payroll and CPP, and we did a retail store kind of setup, used spreadsheets, and sometimes that's the best thing you do is, you don't always have to buy curriculum. Sometimes if you have kids kids' is capacity and you can't find that curriculum, do your own thing. Do a unit study. Make a project. Kids love projects. But cherish the moments and take breaks. And most of all, pray and pray and pray. You can pray when you're washing dishes. You can pray when you're reading a book. You can pray when you're walking. You can pray when you're stuck in the mud. You can pray when you're going down that toboggan hill and it's so much fun. You can pray anytime, anywhere, because Jesus is always there. Just being real. Blessings. I lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. Psalm 121, verses 1 to 2.